To week 10 of the BBL for the Super Duper Melonheads. We are going to be facing off the Angels, the Los Angeles Angels, coached by Nate and Disney. We got absolutely blown out in the overall matchup their first week against them, and I expect something similar to happen this week. Although we actually did get our third best results this season in a +4 in our first matchup. So who knows, maybe this will go better than I expect. But in any case, Angels, along with the Diamondbacks, who I'm facing next, are probably the two most defensively intimidating teams in the division. So we'll see if I manage to beat the AI in both of these games, or if it actually manages to finally get me in with them. Obligatory I'm on hard show. Alright, let's see what we get here. Will we actually get a game where nobody has a bad day? That would be rare for... Okay, Tanya has a bad day, but it's not too damaging. Her hitting and running is intact. Tanya and Steph both having bad days in fielding, so things might be rough on defense here. But that's it! We actually have everybody with their full hitting and running ability for, like, only probably the 4th or 5th time all season. Alright, let's put together the lineup then. I've been stacking all of my fast players at the start of the lineup, but that hasn't really been working. It hasn't been really working out, so we're going to swap things around here. Put some, space them out some here. So Stewart still leads off, but then Alexis next to try to drive in anybody from the bottom of the lineup who gets on. Lulu for Morgan on base, Stephanie to hopefully drive some runs in before Angela's there to clear the bases. Then Tony next. Well, actually, Fernando. No. I'm dumb. Vicky next, just to get on base. Tony to try to drive them in, and also to give a buffer between him and Stewart at the top of the lineup, and then Fernando and Tanya to back things off. As far as the Angels, let's see if their defense has any big good or bad days here. Looks like about normal. This might be a slightly easier game against them than the first time, just because they have Kimmy playing out normal strength instead of with the Ekman boost, but this is still a pretty nasty defense. Not sure what I'm going to be able to accomplish here. But it's not like I've been accomplishing much this season anyway, so that makes it less worrying, honestly. One goal going into here, as I continue in this season, I somehow still hold the league leadership in strikeouts by Angela with over 80 now, and stolen bases by Stewart with over 20. So my personal goal for the rest of the season is to maintain those division leaderships, I should say, through the end of the season. And Angela off to a good start on that, striking out Gale in 3 pitches. And a flawless performance. Ashley Weber, the hitter, has a 241 average, so has not been doing so well as an AI here. Hits one up towards the middle, but straight to Tony for an easy out. Mr. Clanky, on the other hand, that 750 average is an AI. He has been doing very well. I'm not sure if there's any correlation between how well they've done in the simulated games and how well they're likely to do when you're actually playing against them. I know I've seen it theorized that there's a correlation, but I haven't seen a lot of discussion of that, so I'm not sure. In any case, Clanky smacks one to right. Easy base hit for him, fortunately. He's slow enough that he's not able to get any more than the single. So, perfectly manageable situation so far. And that brings up Maria Luna, only a 166 average despite the pink boost. Clanky going for second, which isn't such a good idea with only 6 speed. Tony tags it out easily as Fernando makes a throw, so that ends the first inning. Angels with 1 hit, no runs. Let's see what the Melonheads can do here. Alright, and Stuart Sullivan leads off. And we'll swing at the first pitch, which is almost perfectly placed. Not going to take things for granted, though, with Clinky's laser there. Too much of a laser, it looks like, though, as Gale drops it at first anyway. So Stewart's on safely to start us off. Good start. Let's see if Alexis can do something good here. Unfortunately, basically all of my hitters, everybody except Tanya with a stronger bat, has just struggled this season and slumped. Gotten a relatively low number of actual good hits. Stewart able to take second base despite having a pretty good arm behind the plate. I think it's Sydney who's catching. No, it's Ashley who's catching. Sydney was the catcher last year when I had the Twins on the Melonheads. And nice play there as Stewart goes for third, Gale goes for that play instead of the easy play at first, but Stewart is able to make it in anyway. And if that would have been a likely out situation, I would have had to just run into it and take it anyway. Otherwise, it would have been cheesing, and that wouldn't be no good. In any case, Luann Louise up. Slight good day here. My other super speedster for getting on base, along with Stewart, and has been doing about as well. Alexis going to be slowed down significantly here from this stamina loss as she's... Whoa! Caught between bases, and Gale throws to third base for some reason instead of second, so... I get the base. Unfortunately, it does come at the expense of a significant amount of Alexis's stamina bar, so... That's going to make further such plays that much tougher. And Lulu with grounder... Gets a lanky pop up there. Diana Hayes throws it in, but it's an easy RBI single. Alexis just barely safe at third. So 1-0 Melonheads. So far, this is looking like one of our better games. Brings up Stephanie Morgan. Has a bad day, but it's only affecting her fielding. At least as far as the baseball ratings show, she is doing normal in hitting and running. We'll see if she can bat in another run here. Lulu takes second base for free. Runners on second and third with nobody out. Angela Del Vecchio on deck. This is a pretty good situation all around. And Steph with one down the first base line. Unfortunately not hit quite hard enough. That's going to be an easy out. Nothing accomplished there. Steph with, I think, a bit rougher of a second half of the season so far, after a performance in the first half that exceeded expectations enough for me to make her my all-star. Angela Del Vecchio, the hitter now. It's been a while since she's hit any home runs. Let's see if she can change out here, or at least hit a good one to the deep outfield that'll score Lulu and Alexis. I think that's going to be on the high side. It is. Not high enough to not be a strike, but high enough that I don't think I would have made good contact. And it looked like a good one, but nope. Ended up being a dinky grounder instead. Clanky just sits there on the mound, though. So Clanky just sitting there for several seconds, letting the ball go by, and then slinging into the back of Gale's head. And Angela makes it to base safely for... whatever that's worth. I'm not sure yet if that's a good thing or a bad thing. If she can just bait the throw to second base and get out, take one from the team, and let everyone else get on base safely here with Vicky up to bat, that's good. On the other hand, if it makes it easier for Vicky to get a double play here, then that's going to be very bad. So we'll see. That's either going to be really great for me, or at least nice for me, or else really bad for me. Clanky, though, with some surprisingly bad control here. It's now 3-1 against Vicky. Even though he is a robot, he is amazing at pitching, and he does not tire, so... Take strike two. Full count here. He says I take the intentional K, can't risk the double play. Yeah, maybe, but it's a bad situation if Angela's still on first base with 2 outs anyway. And I don't like to intentionally get out, so... we go for it. And Jomar's got it. Throws it home. And they turn the clean double play. That was a bad situation no matter what, honestly. Unfortunately, we get the worst possible situation. So... get hits with the first 3 players in a row, score 1 run, get 2 in scoring position, and then we fail to score anymore and end the inning with a double play. Just a typical game for this season's Melonheads. That's what's happened almost every single game this season. This is part of why I've been doing badly. So now, if Los Angeles gets a perfect game, we're going to be giving up a couple of runs to the Angels here, and we are looking like a +1 or +2 is going to be our score if we do well. Meanwhile, Maria had the easy ground out, and Sydney Weber now the hitter. It looks like the AI Angels might be struggling, though. Clanky's the only one so far who's had a good average. Gonna go for the relay here, and it just barely doesn't work. Lexus gave it to Tony, who had the much better arm, but just barely enough for Sydney to be safe. So now, let the triple, undergrounders commence. Swing and a miss for Diana. That's a good start. Sydney just barely takes second base, so that puts her in easy scoring position. If they do still have a special bat. And, yeah. Yep, undergrounder, and I'm expecting 2 more with the next 2 batters. Alright, ground rule double on the undergrounder. It's now a tie game, and we are going to be digging ourselves out of the hole for this game. It's always 3. It's always 3 the power-ups that the AI gets. I have been absolutely murdered by power-ups this season. We do strike out Jomar looking. Didn't even make an attempt to go after the ball, so 2 outs now. Maybe they won't bust out another one and we get mercy here. But again, don't expect it. Oh, nope. Kimmy just hits a regular one straight back to Angela, so that's the end of the onslaught for this inning at least. Rating it to the base so that we don't use up stamina throwing the ball there. Only 1 run for the Angels. It's now a tie game, and we have the more unreliable part of our lineup up. Starting with Tony, who's had a pretty good past couple of games, but we'll see. His ideal situation would be with some runners actually on base. Leading off the inning, not so good. But yeah, another one of my problems this season has just been that my big hitters have not been hitting the ball very big much of the time, although there's a nice one by Tony. Not nice enough, though, is it's straight to Sydney in center for the first out. But like, as we saw here, Angela, ideally she hits one way deep and gets a several RBI double or something like that. What she's supposed to do is get a home run or an RBI single or double with those 2 runners on and score multiple runs and mostly clean off the bases. Instead, what she did was a little infield single that loaded the bases up and set things up horribly, so just everybody not playing to their roles has made me struggle here. Meanwhile, Fernando with the single, we'll see if he's able to advance, though. If the Angel's able to get even long hits in quickly, he might have a tough time getting to second base safely. Tanya Uchida, the hitter. She's been probably my best of the players with bats this season, but she hasn't exactly been horribly consistent or reliable either. Although there's a nice one. Is that gone? Is that gone? No, it's not. Just by the fence, so nicely hit by Tanya, but not where it'll do any good. Instead, just an easy second out thanks to the shift. 1 on, 2 out. Stewart probably stuck in a ground and out situation here because he can beat the throw, but Fernando probably can't. So again, this season, it seems like the most common outcome has been like 1 player near the bottom of my lineup gets on base, which just serves to set things up perfectly for Stewart at the top to get wasted on the 3rd out because he's stuck forcing slower runners forward. I do just well enough each inning, it seems, to shoot myself in the foot. Thanks to my stubborn refusal to intentionally get out. I would do a lot better if I was playing that way. Okay, Stewart's safe, but still have Fernando to worry about again. Causes an issue there. Stewart wasted. And we go out of the 2nd with no runs to our name. Or no runs from that inning. Going into the third, it's tie game. Dominique Lowe, the hitter for the Angels. Angela only with 2 strikeouts after 2 innings. Not the total I'm looking for here. We'll see if she can step up her K game here, or if she's just stuck mostly getting outs like this. Well, that's certainly not an out there, as Alexis bobbles it. He probably could steal second base without much trouble, but he chooses not to go for it. Single for Dominique, and I'm stuck hoping that they don't have any more undergrounders in reserve. Gail Weinman, the hitter. We did successfully strike her out in the first, so maybe we can do that again. On that pitch, though, that one's inside for the first ball. Angela also starting to have some stamina issues. Not been getting the extra time on the bench she needs with my team bat to fully recover it. So we're going to go for the strikeout with a special pitch, followed by juicing up. Elevator, one of the more reliable special pitches against the A, and it certainly comes here as Gale watches strike 3 go by. For the first time, Ashley Weber to hit it now. Inside for ball 1. Swing and a miss for strike 1. Dominique going for second, and it looks like Fernando is tired enough that he's not able to make the throw. Is he getting tired from his throws to second? He is. So Fernando getting tired, just another way that things are starting to get worse in this game. I have one of the fastest teams in the league this season, but it hasn't felt like it. Because it's mostly just concentrated in Stuart and Lulu and Vicky. And the rest are just kind of average speed, so they're not super slow, but they're not fast enough to be really good. And Dominique gets himself caught getting greedy, so Ashley gets a single, but I do get the second out. Runner on first with 2 outs for Clanky, who hit a nice single to right field. In the first, hopefully he doesn't do that again, because that could be bad if he does. He does not. Chops one into the ground here, and Alexis was going for it, and then chooses to run away from it when I click on the ball. The may I field and coming to bite me in the butt again, because Angela cannot make that throw, so it is a single. Runners on second and third, first and second, 2 outs for Maria Luna. Take strike 1. So we'll see if we could just strike her out and take the fielders out of the equation here. Because if so, that would increase our odds here. Unfortunately, unable to as Maria does hit one into the ground. Fernando is able to make the play, though, for the third out. So we get out of the top of the third with no runs scored, but they do tack on an extra 2 hits. We're tied in runs and down by 1 hit going into the bottom of the third. Let's see if we can get something done here for us. Alexis the hitter. 1 for 1 today with a single. I choose to swing, but a bit too late. Surprisingly decent hit, but it does go straight to short for an easy out. And that brings up Lou. Ball 1 outside, and we're likely stuck facing Clinky the entire game. He won't get tired. The only way we'll get him off the mound is if we score 5 runs. And the way this has been going, scoring 5 runs not looking very likely. Take strike 1. Hitting that might have been a good idea, but it might have made it too easy to get thrown out at first. Much rather hit the ball in this direction, although that went uncomfortably close to Clanky. And Gale just barely makes the play for the second out, so probably another nothing in here. Stephanie Morgan, the hitter. Down to just 444 on the season, after falling off rather badly in the second half. Choose to swing, but don't make the contact I was hoping to. Gale stepped off the bag, it looks like, to make that play, so Stephanie actually does make it to base safely. I was expecting that to be an out, but there was just enough slowness there by the Angels making the play that Steph was able to hustle it out. So another Steph coming through once again. And that brings up Angela Del Vecchio, which is much nicer than having her lead off the next inning. That would have been decidedly suboptimal. Now she has a chance to hit in 2 runs. If nothing else, at least will not be up to start the 4th inning. And that one is hit well, and I think that one is out. Yes, it is. Angela's finally back. Would have liked this 2 innings ago, but I'll take it now. 2-run homer by Angela, and it's now 3-1 Melonheads. Alright, that brings up Vicky. Unfortunately, with 2 outs already on the board, she's unlikely to be able to make it around and score. But at least this time she's not stuck with the bases loaded and Angela on first base. Lanky with 2 nasty corner pitches in a row. 0-2 the count. Just outside, 1-2. And takes ball 2. 2-2 the count. Plinky throwing strangely inaccurately. Given his advantages, you'd think he'd be able to throw in the strike zone every pitch, but apparently not. Fouled off again. That's 2 balls and 4 strikes so far, if you count it at home. Unfortunately, all the foul balls don't have any intrinsic benefit of their own other than not getting the out right away, since Clinky won't tire out on them. Fine performance by Vicky here, though. And hits it straight down the first base line. Russian. Oh, and she makes it! I didn't think she would, but Clanky was just slow enough, once again, getting it there. If he was able to make it for base, so we'll see if Tony can pull off something good here. Had a line out earlier this game in the 2nd inning. It's the first ball inside. Ashley with a good throw, but Kimmy messes it up at the base, so Vicky is able to make it safely. So now a good hit by Tony, and Vicky should be able to score. She's a bit tired out from the rushing there, but I think she'd be pretty good. And there you go. That's nicely hit. It's gonna land. Unfortunately, I'm not sure it went out far enough. No, Sydney's already got it and throws it in, so we will not be scoring Vicky on that play. But the rally continues. We'll see if Fernando can get something good enough to not get Tony out at second. Oh, whoops. I forgot I wasn't really trying to steal second base. I was just setting up the hit and run. And now Tony's caught in a run down here. Last time this happened, I was barely saved by him choosing to throw the ball to third, and here he just barely outruns Dominique to first base. Alright, let's see. Yuria, why do you not want me to submit until Sunday? Fernando with a nice liner there. That's getting in the gap. But Maria's there. She's getting it in. So unfortunately, nicely hit by Fernando, but Tony is too slow and useless on the base paths. Oh, I see you're talking about the Diamondbacks game. Alright, that makes sense. So, almost get another run in there, but once again, Tony is more or less a load dragging this team down with him. So, but still, we did score 2 runs off the 2-run Angela bomb, putting us up 3-1 going into the 4th inning. 1 and 2, but not going to get another strikeout here. Angels are too good at making contact. Nice relay, but once again, Sydney just barely beats it to the bag. I think that happened her first time hitting, too. Diana Hayes a hitter now, 1-for-1 with a ground rule double. That came from an undergrounder. It was not legit, just to be clear. Runner on first with nobody out. Sydney breaking for second, but I know Fernando already has gotten kind of tired out from trying to make throws before, so I don't think he'd make it. He's holding and saving his stamina. Oh, they did have another undergrounder. They just haven't been using it. So Diana takes advantage again. This one is not over the fence. Sydney's still going to be able to score. That's too deep for even Stewart to run in quickly and defend. It looks like Diana is safe at second as well. So slightly different style. Same result. Another undergrounder, another run, and we're down to +1 again. And Johnny Omar, the hitter, struck out looking last time at bat. Again, I'm trying to hold on to the division lead. 4 strikeouts with Angela, but only 3 strikeouts in 3 innings. Not the greatest for maintaining that. Paint the corners, and as a result, miss the strike zone. 1 and 2. Jomar does put a little bit of bat on the ball, enough to make it an easy ground out instead of a strikeout. Alright, Kimmy Ekman, the hitter, 0-for-1. I think maybe now they're out of undergrounders. I'm hoping. No, they're not. Oh my goodness, what in the world? The decisions for when to use and not use undergrounders this game have been making no sense by the AI. Alright. Kimmy, you'll be held to a single. The big question is, can we stop Diana? And the question is no, because Tony just sits there like a useless idiot and doesn't go pick up the ball to try to throw it home. Tony, once again, failing to help the team out as another undergrounder results in the 3rd run. I am not sure what percentage of my runs allowed this game have been off of power-ups, but it's a pretty high one. And an easy ground out for Gale to end the inning with, once again, no more strikeouts. Can't seem to even get the strikeouts this game. And we're going into the bottom of the 4th. It's once again a tie game. Stewart, fortunately, not too tired out by that one throw that I accidentally made. Tanya, the hitter. Got a nice hit that was unfortunately in just straight to a fielder in the 1st inning. Nearly the same thing here, but Dominique is not able to make the play, so Tanya does make it to base safely. I'm talking about this season, though, not just this game. If I said this game, then that was a mistake. Stewart up with a runner on first, but fortunately this time nobody out. So even so, he can still at least make it to base. And once again, going for the hit and run setup. Forget about it. Accidentally steal instead. This time I tried to run it out with Tanya, and she didn't quite make it, so that's the first out for you. And that's the problem. Even though I have one of the fastest teams in the league, it's like, still I get too many hits that are just singles, even when they do get to base safely. That just puts them on first base as loads for the faster players. And Stewart is out even, as Clanky messes me up once again. 2 outs. This is another very bad game for the Melonheads. I'd say very bad. It's not very bad. Another very lackluster game. But it's just about ordinary for this season. Alexis, now the hitter, got a single in the 1st inning. 0-2 the count now. I know I gave up like 4 runs last game that were all on power-ups. And Clanky guns Alexis out at first, so another nothing in for the Melonheads. Tied at 3 going into the 5th. And whether or not I can beat the AI is very, very legitimately in question here. Gale the hitter, I was wrong about who got out to end the inning last time. I forgot who it was, but that's alright. Gale has given Angela 2 of her 3 strikeouts. Maybe we can get one more here. Angela not doing well, even at holding on to the league leadership in strikeouts. Can't have anything nice this game, it seems. And yep, once again, instead of obligingly striking out, just hits the lane one up the first baseline. Easy out, but not a K. And Ashley, the hitter, 1 for 2 today with a single. Everybody on the Angel is coming up for their 3rd at bat this inning here, and it's only the 5th inning. That's a sign that I'm not doing so well at keeping them under control this game. Though again, that's mostly due to the undergrounders. And Ashley strikes out swinging, so we do finally get another strikeout for Angela. Clanky's up now, though. He's 2 for 2 today with 2 singles. One that was a legitimately good hit, and another that was the fielding controls failing me once again. Here he pops one up towards short. Can Tony catch it? He can. Clanky pops out for the 3rd out, so we actually 1-2-3 the Angels in this inning. Going into the bottom of the 5th, it's 3-3. Let's see if we can break this tie. The hitter, 1 for 2 with a single, and one just barely being thrown out at first. Owen with the count. And Lulu hits one down the 3rd baseline. Nobody right there. Jomar will get it, but not in time. So Lulu singles. Good start to the inning. Let's see if we can keep it up. Brings up Stephanie Morgan. 1 for 2. That one should have been a ground out probably, but the Angels were just slow enough and Steph managed to hustle it out into a single. Now with the runner on first, nobody out, soon to be a runner on second. If Ashley does not make the throw in time, Lulu gets second base. Owen won the count, nobody out. And a nice pop-up by Steph. And nobody's getting to that in time. Steph, once again, coming through here. Sydney is able to throw it in time to stop any runs from scoring, but runners on the corners, nobody out. Angela Delvecchio, the hitter. This is where it would be really nice if I could steal second base, but unfortunately, Steph is not fast enough to beat out Ashley's arm. If Angela can get a good hit here, it'll score at least Lulu. She did hit a home run earlier this game in the 3rd. 2-run shots. But that was balanced out by an unlikely single in the 1st that perfectly set up a double play, which resulted in all 3 of the Angels' runs. Angela is in some way responsible for 5 out of the 6 runs scored so far, but here, a nice one by Angela. Not a super big out-of-the-park hit, but it is good enough for Steph to make it safely to second, and even Angela to make it safely to first, although that latter might not be the best thing with Vicky Kawaguchi up to bat. Now it sets up once again the potential force-out play. We'll see if Vicky can avoid the double play this time. Gonna try to hit it, ground it down the first baseline, so hopefully Steph can make it to 3rd safely and they only make the play at 2nd. 0-2 the count. Deliberately striking out is not an option for me. Fouls it off. Perfect. Hopefully Clinky will hit one. Toss one to the outside corner here. That's not the outside corner. Vicky strikes out for the 1st out. Not sure if that was in the strike zone or not. Probably should have taken it though. Brings up Tony Delvecchio, so we'll see if he can hit one. He at least has much better odds than Vicky of hitting one well enough for Steph to make it to 3rd safely. Which is the hope, and if Steph's on 3rd, then there's a small chance of Fernando driving in the run, though that'll mean Tony on first base probably. and that'll be a bit of a tall order. We'll see, though. Played with 1 ball and 1 nasty strike so far. Make that 2 nasty strikes, not giving me anything to work with so far. Also throwing exclusively inside, whereas I'd still rather hit it. There you go, opposite field. No opposite field here, though. Long pop-up. Maria gets the error. Oh my goodness! Maria with the deliberate drop, I'm sure, to change what would have been probably an out, but easily getting back to bases into a double play. That's why the infield fly rule exists, but in real baseball, you don't have situations like this where outfield flies can do the same thing. So that will give another 3 uses of some power up to the Angels, and probably spells doom for us unless we manage to perfectly get them out here. Maria with pop-up towards second. Tanya is able to make the catch despite her bad day in fielding. Yeah, no, that was not an infield fly, but it is an apt illustration of how the rules of baseball and the rules of backyard baseball don't work perfectly together. Cindy hits it straight back to the pitcher. Angela should have the play here, even has time to run the ball closer. 2 outs. Diana Hayes a hitter. 2 for 2 with 2 doubles, both on undergrounders. But probably she's not going to go forward with nobody. Yeah, if we could just get her out, we make it out of this with a +1. Miss Reed dislikes the fact that players don't speed up until the ball touches the ground. Maybe. It's saved my butt sometimes, too. If they catch the ball, then it's really good. The problem is, usually it just ends up working out whatever is the opposite of the best way possible. Unfortunately, Diana perfectly places the ball, almost like it was a human player here. Right in the middle, where nobody could get to the ball quickly, and nobody had a great arm to toss it in. So, now we're running on first with 2 outs, but the Angels do have a power-up in store, so Jomar is probably going to use it and ruin my day. Just in case Diana goes for second base, I'm putting Tony. Actually, no. Fernando's recovered his stamina, so we don't need Tony behind the plate. Rather have him at short. Gonna paint the corners as much as possible here. The goal is to prevent contact. Oh, and Diana is going for second. Fernando does make it up in time, so it will not be the power-up fueled RBI. Instead, it is the 3rd out, and so Melonheads barely squeak out a victory over the Angels. 4-3, 4 +1. Alright. Gonna submit the score to the bot. And we will see the result, but don't go anywhere yet, anybody. I'll go straight into the Diamondbacks game after this. Just barely managing to get the job done. I still have not lost a game to the AI since week 3 of Season 5, at least not in an official BBL game. It's amazing that I haven't so far with how weak this season has been for me otherwise, but nevertheless has been the case. Alright. Result, Season 7, EX Game 10. That looks correct. Time to check out the final score. And Angels with a +44. Yep, I thought it would be a blowout, and it certainly was. Nate went to town against me, and completely blew me away. 44-1, the final score. So, yep, another game where it didn't matter how well I did, I would have been blown out of the water anyway. So, GG to Nate. Yep, well played. I wasn't going to win no matter what, and I certainly didn't do myself any favors here. I will go away happily with having just beaten the AI. And so that's it for Game 10.